Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wake Up UK. And tonight we have got a distinguished guest from across the channel from France, a member of the Yellow Jackets organisation. Our friend Roman Light is here. So introduce yourself, Roman. Say hello to the audience. And it is so good to have you here.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, my name is Roman Light. I'm French citizen living in Australia for the past 6 years. I came back in France for holidays, and obviously things has changed a little bit, and I'm now actively participating to the yellow suit, yellow vest movement. And yeah, I have a message. I made a video that started by France has a message for the world, and that video has been viral. And yeah, if you want to hear a bit more about this, just go on my Facebook page, which is R.i.C, R.i.C, referendum initiated by the citizens, and you will understand. But I guess we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, we'll talk about as much as we can. We know you've only got half an hour, brother. You're a busy man. In our private chat, you've just said you've got meetings with people from across the world. What you guys are doing in France is actually making the world stand up and take notice. And the people who love their independent, their own particular nations, they are standing up in their thousands. We need them in the millions. And it's you guys who are bringing them out into the forefront and making them actually wake up. We've been trying for, myself, 14, 16 months. It's been hard work. It is working in the UK slowly, but with you guys doing it in France now, people are starting to wake up a lot quicker. So that's great news. So, Roman, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Obviously, in the UK, we are told that this demonstration of yours, the Yellow Jacket, is all about fuel. Now, can you tell the public the truth? What is it about and why, and what made you guys decide that you had to stand up, get your Yellow Jackets out your cars and actually take to the streets and do what you're doing? Leave it to you, brother.
So, I have to admit that for once your media were right, because it's a question of fuel, but maybe not the fuel that they were talking about. We've been programmed to believe that the power are the people who are telling us what to do, but the truth is that we are the fuel, we are the power, we are the people producing things, generating economy, moving things and producing services. And so we are the fuel. So the crisis is actually indeed a problem of fuel, but not the price of the tax of the fuel, but the fact that the fuel is the energy and the machinery that allow us to become a society, a civilization, and a culture. So it all started with the fact that with the rise of the price of the fuel, and that was basically the drop that makes everything fall off, because for years we have lost all our privilege. The people are getting in more and more misery, and the only thing that we hear from the European Union is that that's the best we can do. And France basically decided to draw a line on the sand and say enough is enough. We're not going to go anywhere. We basically stop being that fuel. We stop producing anything. We're basically going to stop until something's changed. And even if most of the people doesn't even know what has to be changing, what we have that I would say that simple and humble humility and natural wisdom that every human beings have inside of their hearts, which is
not Remainers over here, brother. Can I just say, the Remainiacs over here who love you, they've got no sense of humour. Honestly, mate. They are just, I don't know, they're just like, they're programmed sheep, as we say, and they've got no sense of humour, brother. We're the ones with a sense of humour, not the Romaniacs.
Unfortunately, a lot of French people also has been programmed to believe that it was okay. It was all okay, and that there was nothing that we can expect better than that. But the truth is that we are sick of a disease that most of the people on Earth doesn't know, which is the fact that we're powerless. we are powerless not because we are not powerful, but because we have been programmed to be powerless through a system that basically hide the tool that could allow us to become powerful. And that tool is very simple. We call it the R.i.C. It's called the referendum initiated by the citizen. And what it is, it's just a simple idea that if we could have a constitutional right to trigger national referendum from our own initiative, we wouldn't have to beg to be listened. So let's imagine, for example, that when you're signing up a petition, that petition could have a legal constitutional right to trigger a national referendum. So therefore, people could actually decide if an idea is better than the actual idea that we have, and that therefore this new idea would be directly implemented into the constitution, the law, or any form of legal expression. The fact that in the constitution...
Oh,
sorry?
Go on, mate. Let me just say, mate, about petitions in the UK, right? We have petitions almost every day, right? And the problem we have, the Parliament, they ignore them. We've had petitions with 500,000 signed, 1 million, even more, and they just completely ignore them. So by trying to get it into the law over in France, that would be a great thing. You know, if a petition reaches a certain level of signatures, say 250,000, whatever, to make that into law would be a great thing. Maybe that's something that us in the UK might, look into as well. So carry on, brother.
So the idea is that if, for example, let's say 500,000 or 1 million, or let's say like even 1%, 2%, or 3% of the population could come together about an idea, and they all sign up and they said this is a crucial point and we want the advice of the rest of the population. If constitutionally we could trigger a national referendum where people could say yes or no, then therefore this decision would outcome the decision of the elected people. And by doing this, we could regain power. Like, we've been programmed to believe that we're in democracy. Democracy is coming from demos, the people, and kratos.
There's no democracy, brother. We are currently in the UK living under a dictatorship.
Exactly.
In all ways,
it's a soft dictatorship. It's a soft dictatorship. Also because we are not waking up to that reality. If people could wake up to the reality that there is a simple and easy antivirus, which is called the R.i.C, imposing a right to being able to trigger a national referendum could actually solve the whole problems. It would actually make the elected people accountable. It would actually give a voice to the people, like people who sign a petition. Like, I'm not signing up any petition anymore because I know it's powerless. I know it's useless. So what can we do?
I'm the same, brother. I don't bother because, we've had, like I say, we've had petitions over here, huge numbers have signed, and they've just dismissed them. And people say, oh, send the petition, email this, do this. But they don't work because they don't listen to you, so it is a problem.
So we need to stop asking and begging, asking nicely or begging. We need to impose that to the people in power. And until people will realize that until this is happening, they are going to be slaves. They're going to be vulnerable only because they don't have the power to counterpower the power in place. They said that the media was the counterpower, and we all know today that media are controlled by the same people who are electing the people we're voting for. Let's say, for example, Macron 1 year before was completely unknown, and suddenly he became president, not because of magic, but because he actually did 25,000 first page of the news. Like, obviously, people would actually vote for the people we're going to show that. And the people who created the constitution, the fathers, knew that. They knew that the people would basically vote for those that we're going to tell them to vote for. So if we are not putting in place the antidote, the antivirus inside the constitution, we are vulnerable, we are powerless. And this has to come into people's brain. Like, there's no point protesting, there's no point getting out and signing petition if you have to beg to be listened. Until you have a right that is as powerful as the right that those people are claiming that they use based on our energy, on our fuel, there's absolutely nothing to do.
Now, at the moment, obviously Macron's under a lot of pressure in France due to what you guys have been doing. How is he? How is he sort of coping with it in the Parliament? Are the Parliament still supporting him, or is there inklings that he might be sort of dismissed or a vote of no confidence or something?
So I have to admit that we're really lucky in France to have such a president, like such a stupid and arrogant and disgusting president, because the previous one was as disgusting, but he was a coward. So if the situation would have gone bad, like I'm sure he would basically have done whatever we were asking, and we would not be where we are today. So I have to thank Macron for being such an asshole, because without his help, people wouldn't have been gone on the street and wouldn't
Yeah.
have like even protesting, because like they would just accept their misery. And yeah, thank you very much, Macron. The thing is that, sorry, what was your question? The question was
Well, how is he sort of coping? Are the Parliament
oh,
still
the parliament. Yeah.
supporting Macron at the moment?
The truth is that the parliament, like I would not say every people of the parliament or the senate are traitors, but I would say a good 90% of them are traitors.
Same,
So
same as the UK, brother. Same as the UK.
they are
Apparently,
basically
can I
trying
just
to.
say?
Sorry.
Can I just say, the vote has just come on. There's been a vote of no confidence in Theresa May tonight, and she has survived the vote. The Conservative Party have backed her to remain leader. So that's just coming through in the chat room now. She's survived the vote. We was hoping she would be gone tonight, but the Conservative Party have kept her as leader. So we haven't got rid of our Prime Minister.
Yeah, this is the proof that the parliament is also working for the EU and the oligarch, who are the one like protecting their privilege by keeping them into a system that enslave and the whole population of Europe, and it's not getting better. Like they signed up yesterday the Marrakesh Pact, which
Yeah,
is
as France signed that as well. Our Prime Minister signed it. We was begging them not to. A lot of countries haven't signed it. But unfortunately for me and you, brother, both our Tunis MP Parliament have both signed that agreement. So how many more people are we going to have flooding into our nations in the next few years? Who knows?
so they
Unbelievable.
actually plan, they give us some numbers. They said like about 1 million new immigrants per year for France. So
Per
France is
year.
about, yeah, France is about 67 million. So like with 1 million per year over 30 years, the population will go up to 90 to 100 million people with 30% minimum from like a different culture. So
African
like,
nations, yeah,
yeah,
mostly
so
Islamic.
the plan is actually quite simple. They want to bring, they want to basically create China in Europe. Like they want us to become the new China. They want us to
Yeah,
work for like $1 an hour, like they do in Germany. They want us to like refuse to fight for our rights, because there's going to be so much competition for cheap that most of the people are going to lose their job, while the oligarch are going to make even more money by
yeah,
producing more for cheaper price. So their plan is actually quite diabolic, but working pretty well, because people are divided. And as long as the
yeah,
people are going to be divided, they're going to be screwed up. And the beauty is the beauty aspect of the Gilets jaunes, the yellow vest, is that people are starting slowly to reconnect with their neighbors, and they're going out and they're going in the street and they're starting to talk to people, and they're starting to realize that they were actually all brothers and sisters,
yeah.
and that
Can
there's
I
no.
just ask? Can I just ask, Roman? Is this yellow jacket movement spreading right across France, or is it just predominantly in Paris?
No, it's all across France. Like
All
I
across.
think
Good.
they found out that there was probably about 3,000 different points across France. So when the prime minister like dared to come on the TV and said that there was about 10,000 protesters, like
Yeah,
wait a second, like each point has between 50 up to 200 people over there. We're
yeah, yeah,
talking about 2 to 3 million,
yeah.
two
Can
to
I
three
just say,
million.
Roman? Can I just say, Roman? We went to a march on Sunday in London, Whitehall, with Tommy Robinson. I don't know if you know who Tommy Robinson is. and Gerald Batten, the UKIP leader, and the mainstream media were saying that there was about 2,500 people there. Now, I was there. There was 50,000 plus people there. And the media, I was talking to a guy Monday outside Parliament, a lefty snowflake Remainer photographer, and he said, I was there was only 2,500. I said, well, I'll show you the video, mate. And I took videos for the whole day. I do it live, so they're not doctored. I can't doctor my videos. It goes out to the world live as it's happening. And there was 50,000 plus there. And the media and the government, 2,500. And it's happening in France as well, yeah.
The funny thing is that the Minister of Interior said that there was 10,000 people, but he brought something like 90,000 cops all across France, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we need 10 cops per protester. Like, wow.
Can I just say about the police, Roman? In this country, we have heard rumours that you've actually had Portuguese police on the streets of France against the French people. Is that true or false?
We don't know. We don't know. We just see peaceful people protesting, sometimes with their hand behind their heads or on their knee, and being beaten by cops with absolutely no reason,
we have
sending
seen
them bombs
videos,
and stuff. And we're like, wait a second, guys, like, what the hell is happening here? Like, we don't deserve that. No one deserves that. And, like, do you know that there's been dead people? There's actually has been a lot of dead people and injured people. So, like,
how many deaths has there been, Roman? We haven't really heard about deaths as far as I know.
There's been I think in total probably 4 deaths already, and one of them was an 80-year-old lady who received a flashball on her face and died, basically. There's a lot of injured people, like broken nose, lost an eye, cheek explode, broken jaw. There's been an uncountable amount of injured people. And the thing is that this is such an amazing way to prove that this whole masquerade about like bringing democracy to Syria, because like Bashar al-Assad was this ugly dictator. Like, wait a second, like, we have proof today that we are living in a dictator, and we are going out in the world claiming that we need to protect the environment, where we are one of the biggest polluters. And like, this whole hypocrisy doesn't make any sense, and people are so done with that I believe that we crossed the point of no return. I hope that we cross the point of no return, and that there will be no way people like Macron are going to stay in power. And yesterday we saw him on TV, and his facial expression, I hope people are going to go online and look at his face. It's unbelievable. This guy is terrified. He's like, his face is like blank. He doesn't have any expression. His eyes are like, I don't know how you say in English, like beef eye, you know, like
frog-eyed,
There's no expression, there's no life, there's nothing. Like, this guy used to say a few months ago, if people are not happy with what I do, they can come and get me. That's the level of arrogance and stupidity that this bastard is. And now that we're here and we say, mate, you ask us to come, here we are.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like you're going for him. It looks like you're going for him.
Now he's in Argentina, in Morocco, in Germany. He's like traveling the world because, you know, the country is on fire, but he has better things to do, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, you said about they go around the world, democracy. Now, I've always said the UK, England, we give democracy to the world in a sense. 1,000 years ago, whatever. And what gets us is, in the UK, our Prime Minister and our MPs, they go around the world and they preach about democracy, freedom of speech, and all the good of democracy. And yet in our island, we've got no freedom of speech, and we are not in a democracy anymore. We are in a dictatorship. And yet they go preaching to the rest of the world, like you say about Syria and all these little countries around the world. And they say, yes, Europe, the EU, we're a land of democracy and freedom of speech and that. And yet when it's home in France, UK, Holland, Germany, wherever, we're not free, are we? We haven't got democracy. We haven't got freedom of speech, and yet they go at the world and say we have. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like the situation is quite dramatic, but there's a lot of hope. And that hope is basically coming from that R.I.C. Until people understand the necessity to fight and die for the right to create and trigger referendum from the people's initiative, nothing is going to change. So I just hope that people are going to understand that and they're going to fight for it, because there's absolutely no point fighting for our rights, our freedom of speech, or anything like that if we don't have the power to impose it to the powerful.
That's it, yeah. So, Roman, hello, James, by the way. So, Roman, what are your plans for the near future? Obviously, does your actions mainly take place at the weekend, or have you started actions in the week as well now?
I'm 24/7 working on that, and what I'm trying to do right now is to create the tool that will allow every people on earth to actually be capable of working together to manifest that R.I.C, that referendum initiated by the people. And it's very simple. We just need to connect an amazing technology called the blockchain or the holochain to get access to fully encrypted, unbreakable and hackable technology where people could express themselves and just stand for that technology, so we can counterdict a system that is claiming to get the power from national votes, and opposing it a system that will actually be the expression of people's votes, and basically let them fight. Instead of us fighting people, we're just going to bring the system to fight the system. I think this is the easiest solution to do, but not that easy, because it requires a lot of technical needs and funds and technology. So I'm doing calls to whatever hackers and whatever programmers who would like to support this to come and help us to build that technology and give it to the world. Like, give a technology that can allow people to come and vote from their phone, from their iPad, from their computers in a very safe and secure way.
Secure, yeah.
And as soon as the people will start to come together and produce that level of technology, and we can oppose, like Macron has been elected with 20 million people. France is about 65 million people.
20 million is total vote. 20 million total vote, is that all?
Exactly. Like, most of the people doesn't even want to vote because they had to choose between Macron and Le Pen. So why would you vote for those bastards? Like,
what is your view of Le Pen, talking about Le Pen?
Le Pen is just another puppet. Like, her role for years and years and years has been to be the devil that everyone has to fight. So therefore, whatever you're going to put in front of her is going to win. And they already did that many times. Like, they always say how diabolic she is, but people still voting for her because she's about nationalism and stuff. But the truth is that she's working for the European Union. Like, she never said that France has to leave the European Union. So for me, the message is quite clear. She's recognizing foreign authority on our country, but she claims to be for national power, which is ambiguous and wrong. So therefore, she's a double agent.
Yeah, we have that problem over here, brother. We have that problem for a long time. Our opposition leaders have not sort of come out openly and said that we want to come out the EU, and they go on about immigration and all sorts of issues, but they never talked about the control that the EU have over us, and that's something I've been saying for a long time. Well, and it's only recent that Gerald Batten has actually stood up and sort of said about the EU now, same as Tommy Robinson, but it's took a long time to actually get them to mention that.
The way I would explain Le Pen's work is basically looking at what the Bible did. The Bible created Satan, so Jesus would have work until the end of time. And the same way they created Le Pen, so therefore whatever is going to be in front of her is going to be the new Jesus and the new savior. And the people are addicted to that narrative where, like, Le Pen has lost again for the 15th time, but next time they're going to win. And the people are still voting for her. And she's like, yeah, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to stop the immigration. But by the way, you're never going to win anyway.
All of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing I say about UKIP. Over in the UK, at the moment, there is a big thing for all us patriots and people who love our islands to vote for UKIP. Now, when the new leader, Gerald Batten, first come on the scene, he said within 10 years, you know, we will get some kind of power in Parliament. And I said at the time, we haven't got 10 years to save the UK. We've probably got 10 months.
You're right.
So, you know, straight away, he was a defeatist in the fact that he thought, oh, within 10 years, we'll have some sort of say in Parliament. Not total power, but some sort of say. That's no good to us in the UK. In 10 years' time, we'll have 70 million people living on the island. We'll be, you know, most of us will be dead, you know, and we'll be completely overtaken by, you know, immigration, whatever. So, again, it sounds like France is exactly the same.
Hello, Sean. Can I just jump in there? I know that we've only got Roman here for half an hour. And
Yeah.
in the room now. Can we see if James has got anything to any
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Because Roman's not got too much longer with us, has he?
Yeah, go on.
I know. Sean, carry on. I was listening to Sean's point. I love hearing Sean speak. Sorry about my voice, Sean. It's gone.
Yeah, mine's the same, James, brother. After the work we've done in the last week, mate, we're lucky we're still alive.
Hi, Roman. It's nice to meet you. I'm sorry I'm not on camera, and I apologise about my
That's
voice.
okay. That's okay, brother.
We've been outside of Parliament almost every day recently. Sean was with us the other day. We're challenging the Ramonas at every chance that we've got, but judging by what's happened tonight with Theresa May, I think all of politics is a lie. All of it. We're all being manipulated, and it seems like what you guys are doing is the only thing that's left. And I don't understand why we aren't doing it in mass. You know, you guys have been fantastic.
Yeah, but we had some chance. Like we've been lucky to have such a stupid president that basically upset the whole country. You obviously are not lucky enough to get to that level, but instead of fighting a system, my idea is just basically to create a new one. And today we need to put a patch, an antivirus to democracy, and that antivirus is called the R.i.C, referendum initiated by the citizens. People need to understand that until people have the right to trigger a referendum by their own initiative, we are useless, we are powerless, we are slaves. The question isn't about who we're going to choose to decide for us. The question is about if we choose someone to decide for us, do we have the tools and the power to stop them if they're doing something wrong? And obviously today you see that this is not the truth, because the people in parliament also work for foreign entity and foreign interest, not your interest. Because if they were listening to you, you would be already out of European Union, and Theresa May would be out as well. But the fact that they don't listen to you only prove that we are powerless, which is completely crazy, because we are the power. Without us, those people doesn't do anything. None of them knows how to bake, how to cook, how to fix, how to do anything. And they claim that they are the one powerful. And until people realize that we are the one powerful, the power is coming from us. We are the fuel, and we need to take our power back. Until people understand that and come together, then we're all going to be destroyed.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But it's getting. I mean, how did you get so many numbers out on the streets? Because Sean will probably agree with me on this. Like, we seem to struggle to get numbers out. I mean, I'm ready to go. I am literally ready to be out there every day continuously, and I feel that we have.
Did you wear your yellow suit today?
Today I didn't bring my vest with me. Tracy had it with her. Yesterday I had
the yellow vest is a very powerful symbol, because it represents the color of hope. It represents being safe in yourself. It represents a space where each other can recognize each other from far away. So initially we were putting the vest behind the windscreen, and we could actually recognize each other while we were driving. And this actually created an emulation. And like, this yellow vest is a very powerful tool. Like, why are you not using it?
I think it's brilliant. Like I said, I wore mine yesterday. I'm going to be taking mine with me tomorrow.
Like, now we are thinking about wearing it all the time. Like, we're thinking about wearing when we do our shopping, when So people are starting to realize, it's not just a movement. There's something bigger behind that. And when we wear that, people are coming and say, okay, what it is. And behind my vest, I have a RIC written on it. And they're like, what is this RIC about? I say, that's very simple. If you had one message that you want to give to Macron, what would it be? Would it be the retirement? Would it be like more money? Would it be less tax? What would it be? So, okay, let's say less tax. Okay. Would you think that this ID should be submitted to the people so the people by referendum could actually vote if this ID should actually be implemented into the system, into the law? And the person would say yes. I'll say, cool, congratulations, you just made a RIC. You just understand what the RIC is about. The RIC is about referendum initiated by the citizen. And that's it.
Fantastic. That's a brilliant idea.
So
It is a great idea, that.
by using those 3 steps thing, like asking the people, why are they upset? What injustice are they upset? First point. Second point, would you reckon that ID should be asked to the rest of the people? And if the people said yes, then therefore this ID should be implemented. The person obviously will say yes. And then you say, that's called the RIC. It's called referendum initiated by the citizens. And this is such a simple idea. We don't even believe that we haven't thought about that before.
That's brilliant. We met Sean, were you there when we met there was a French couple that came over to us when we were opposite Parliament, and the Ramonas thought they were on their side and they tried speaking to him and they wanted a Frexit, a French exit.
Yeah, I talked to a few from France on Monday, James, and they were supporting us without a doubt. They understood what we was doing, and they were obviously involved in things in France, and they want the same. They're all sick of the EU, I think, brother. It's not just us.
And I think, like, to answer your question, when you said how do we going to put many people in the street, first of all, you need to prepare the terrain and then just be patient, because it seems that the people in England said we don't want being a part of EU anymore. And like we all know that the people over there will never let this happen. So just be patient. They're basically going to say fuck off. And I hope that when they're going to say fuck off, the people are basically going to go in the street and wear the yellow suit and say enough is enough.
Yeah.
The lady here in the chat room, and she's just written in the chat room that she's writing RIC on her jacket right now.
That's it. Let's do it. That's as simple as that. Write RIC and wait for the people to ask you the question. What is RIC? And RIC is rich without the H, you can say.
Also,
yeah, it's a good idea, Roman. Great idea, brother. I think me, James, and a lot of others will start putting that out. Right, brother James?
Of course.
We'll get onto that straight away over here.
James, are you going to France? Did you just say you're intending to go to France? James?
Yeah, I plan on going to France.
Maybe you and Roman can connect on Facebook and...
So on Facebook, you can find me. I created a Facebook page today called RIC, Referendum Initiated by the Citizens by Roman Light. So you can easily find me. It's a Facebook page. The video that I made yesterday already has been seen by 60,000 people in 24 hours. So I believe that the message is spreading far, far, far from all across the world, because this message has nothing to do with France or England. It has to do with the whole world. Every citizen in the country needs to realize that we have been programmed to be powerless, and we need to take our power back. How do we do that? We need to impose in the constitution the ability to trigger referendum from our own initiative. By doing that, we will not beg anymore. We will not kindly ask, peacefully ask. We will impose what we want to the power. And that's the only way we're going to change the world. Not by protesting about equality, not by protesting. They're playing with us for years already. They're dividing us between left and right, between conservative, and they are constantly playing and dividing us. If we can just come together and say, we, the people, want to have that right to trigger a referendum, the game is over.
Yeah. And do you know what? Listening to you, it sounds like you've been speaking to Sean for ages. You sound like a French version of Sean. Like, I know Sean and his group of people, the Dragons. And do you know what? I wish more people in this country would listen to what those guys are saying, because I have been out protesting now for months. I have done everything the Dragons have told me when it comes to the police. and I have never been arrested, not once. And
I had to keep you calm on Monday, though, didn't I, James, brother? You had
well,
to tell the line a bit Monday, brother.
I know, but I'm so passionate, Roman, and I just feel like we're running out of time. You know what we've saw tonight with May clinging on to her job, and the fact that that's going to lead to Jeremy Corbyn becoming prime minister. But like you said, right or left, it doesn't matter. It's about globalism against individual nation states, and like I say, seeing you guys in France gives us hope and belief that maybe we can do the same here. And I'm really sorry about my voice. I blame Sean for egging me on Monday.
So just to summarize the point, take your yellow suit every day, write Rick behind it, use the three methods. What is the best things? What is the number one revendication? Should it be triggered by referendum? Congratulations, this is the Rick. Get in touch with this idea. Like share this idea with more people, because soon UK is going to be ready. Because like if Theresa May is saying she's going to apply the agenda from European Union and she's going to upset a lot of people, so you guys should actually get ready for that. So when the people would be basically fed up, you can actually basically ask everyone to just go in the street and block the economy, because that's what we're doing. We're blocking the economy. We're blocking the flow of energy. We're blocking the highway. We're blocking the roundabout. We're blocking the refinery for the petrol. We're blocking the whole economy, and this is going to go tougher and tougher and tougher week after week. Why? Because the more we do that, the more we expose that system for what it is, which is a dictator, and that they are the one violent. We are not violent. We are peaceful people, but those bastards are coming and beating us.
That's the same over here, Roman, brother. That's the same over here. We, James, will say, be the same. We never resort to violence, and it's usually the left and the police who enact the violence over here. And we've never, I've been to how many
It's even
days?
worse than that. Like we know in
violence.
France that some cops has wear yellow suits to make everyone believe that there was people
Yeah.
breaking things. So we know that we've been infiltrated, but even that, the yellow suit actually filmed them and said, look, they're not with us. They're not like us.
We
Look,
have
it's
that
a
as
group
well,
of
Roman.
people, and they protected their face, so we can't identify them. So we know that they're coming from, they're cops. So like,
we have the same problem,
we know
brother.
who we're facing. So we know that we can't fight and we can't win by being violent. We know that there's absolutely no point protesting against something. So basically what we do is we cross our arm and we wait, and we let them suffocating. That's the best way to win. Like there's no point protesting and then go back to work. If you just stop working and cross your arm and say, I will not produce anything anymore.
Do you know what, Roman? I completely agree with that point, 100%. But I think the problem in this country is, and I never thought I'd say this, and no offense to the French, but I never thought it'd be the French that would be leading the way. And this is not against you guys, but that idea of downing tools, people need to do it, but they're scared to, because I don't think people realise the mess that we're in, because it seems the majority of these people, I don't know whether Sean will agree, the majority of people in this country are still glued into that system.
So I'm going to
90%,
give you,
isn't it?
I'm going to
In
give
the
you
UK.
just two numbers before I go, because it's time for me to go. The first number is that there's officially on Facebook 3 million people registered as yellow suits. Considering that there's probably 50% of the population who has a Facebook account, we can easily believe that we are actively 6 to 7 million people, which is more than 8% of the population. A revolution is only requiring between 3 and 3.5% to successfully win, and we're already way beyond that boundary. But the second number that I want to give you is that we have 76% of support from the population, official poll. So, how are we going to lose? Like, you don't need to convince the whole country. You just need to have 1, 2, or 3% of the population who basically are determined to do something, and they're determined to use that energy that comes from France to trigger something and start something. But until you have a solution, and that solution can be as simple as Rick. Until you have that solution, people will be like, but what do you want to fight for? What do you want me to fight for? Fight for your right to have a voice. And that's what Rick is about. It's about having a right for a voice. Today, we have freedom of speech, and we don't care about talking and speaking. We want a right to do what we want, not just talking, but action. And that's what the RIC is about.
Well, I'll say, Roman, already, brother, we have put your link out and it is going off around the UK and people are already writing Rick on their yellow jackets as we speak. Your link's out for all to see. And me, James, all the others, we will get it out there, brother. We'll both connect with you. We know you've got to go. It has been wonderful to speak to you. You are an inspiration to every one of us in the UK, in the rest of the EU and the world, brother. You are all superstars. You're amazing. I don't know what more we can say. I don't know if James want to say a final word before we let you get to bed.
I'm just a father, a simple person, father of 2 daughters. That's all I am. And I just decided that I don't want that future for them.
You've had enough, basically, like us. You've had enough.
If there's fathers, mothers, grandmothers outside who basically believe that we as a generation have to do something, like just remember that your grandparents, your grandparents, your grandparents, your grandson, your grandson, they're all looking at you today. All the past and all the future is looking at you today because it's happening right now. It's happening today. It's happening. If you don't do something, if you don't go out, if you don't fight for your right, and the solution is so simple, Rick. If you don't do something today, if you're not taking action, then like the blame is going to be on you. Like not on me. I'm doing my part of the job. I'm just a simple person putting that yellow jacket and opening my mouth. So guys, I hope I inspired people to do the same. The message is very simple. The solution is simple. We just need to come all together to imply it.
No, Roman, I hope
James,
yeah, no, I just want to say, yeah, Roman, you've certainly inspired me. I'm going to get Rick wrote on my yellow vest. So when I'm out at Parliament tomorrow, I'm going to go up to people and I'm going to explain the points that you've given to me. I'm also going to share your page on mine. I used to have a bigger following, but they censor it a lot over here. But no, I'll get in touch with you as well. I know Sean will probably want to come with me as well.
And I can tell you, James, when you're going to start to do that, they're going to be like this. They're going to be like this. They're terrified at the idea that they're going to lose their power because that's the only thing that they have, the illusion of power. We have the power. If tomorrow we get our power back, they're going to be like this because suddenly they're going to, oh, I'm not going to do everything that I can, that I want. I'm going to be accountable. Those people are going to follow me and they will have the legal power to impose that on me. They will hate it. You're going to hurt them so much you have no idea. And that's the message that I want to give to all the UK people. If you want to hurt those people, take your power back.
I agree fully, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
brilliant.
I mean, well, Roman, we better let you go, brother, because you've got an early day tomorrow, haven't you, right, by the sound of it? Lots of meetings. So I'll say, Roman, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you and welcome you to Wake Up UK. Hopefully you can come on again. We've got lots of show hosts, so James might want you on his show one night. It's been a pleasure, brother, an absolute, and you are an inspiration to us all.
It's my honor, guys. It's really my honor. We're all brothers and sisters. I just hope one day we're all going to be able to hug each other. That would be my honor.
Yeah, and us, we're the same, brother. You take care, brother, and God bless. And keep up your good fight and your good work. All right, brother.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. There you go. There was our friend Roman.